guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be doing my first ever unhaul. So since this is my first unhaul, I'm not quite sure how to do this. I'm just going to show you the books that I am getting rid of and explaining a little bit why I'm getting rid of it and where it's going maybe or whatever it is. Most of these books will be going to new homes where their owners will love it much more than I do. All of these books are either books that I have not read yet but I just know that I never will read, or books that I have read yet and I just don't care enough to reread them or just didn't enjoy them or whatever the case may be. So the first book that I have is My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. I bought this book when I was on vacation over the summer just as something to read, but I didn't get a lot of reading done on that vacation. There was a lot of hype surrounding this book at the time. I'm not too sure even when it came out. I just know that a lot of people were picking it up, so I decided to pick it up myself. I just never got around to reading it when I bought it, and it just kind of has been sitting on my shelf. It's basically about a girl who lies about her life, and her boss finds out and she's fired, and I think she continues to lie. I mean, it sounds interesting, but comparing to everything else on my TBR, I just don't think that I'll ever really get around to it anytime soon, and there are other books that I would like to purchase, so I think this will be much happier in another home. The next book that I have is Replica by Lauren Oliver. This is that book that came out, I want to say in 2016, and it has the dual point of view kind of thing going on, where like one side is from one character and the other is from another. I picked this book up again around the summer of 2017, never got around to it, and once I started reading the premise, I kind of really only bought it because of the hype. But once I started reading the premise and seeing that it was science fiction and like they were on an island, it just didn't sound like something I'd be interested in, and I've had it for almost about a year and I haven't picked it up yet, so I don't think I ever will, so this will be going to my sister. So the next book that I have is I Lonely Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Now before you attack me, you guys know if you saw my January wrap up that I read this entire trilogy, including this one, and I loved all of them, including this one, and I'm only getting rid of it because I have 2 copies and I don't think I really need 2 copies, especially since my shelves are running out of space, so this will be going to a friend. The next book that I have is Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. This is another book that I bought because it had Sarah Dessen's name on it. I actually hauled this last year's whatever time. I got it from Marshall's. I still have the price tag on it. It was about $7. I picked it up because a lot of people really do love Sarah Dessen, and I just really didn't even read the synopsis. And then I read the synopsis, which is very, very vague. It's just talking about a girl whose like change is happening, and they're up all night because she meets a guy who's an insomniac, and I don't know, it doesn't sound interesting to me. My friend's also going to take this one. Hopefully she'll enjoy it more than I think I ever would. Next up, I have Surviving High School by Lele Pons and Melissa De La Cruz. I spoke about this book in my July wrap-up, I believe, of 2017. I kind of powered through it because it was a gift given to me by somebody very special in my life, so I definitely did want to read it and give it a chance. I ended up giving it like 2 or 3 stars. I didn't enjoy it that much. I just think that it was pretty cliche and inaccurate. I didn't like the writing style. It just was a disaster for me, so I am going to be giving this away to somebody or selling it or whatever it may be because I think somebody else would definitely love to have it on the shelves. Next up, I have Entwined by Heather Dixon. I read this book way before I started booktube. I was probably, I want to say in like 6th grade when I read this, but I definitely did enjoy it. It is a variation on 12 Dancing Princesses, which is one of my favorite fairy tales of all time. I just feel like I will never really get around to rereading it. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was enjoyable. And I mean, this is going to my sister, so technically it's like going across the hall. So if I wanted to reread it, I could, but I just don't think that it should be on my shelves considering there are so many other books that I'd like to have on there. The next book that I have is Panic by Lauren Oliver. I know this kind of looks bad talking about like unhauling almost all of Lauren Oliver's books. I did read the Delirium trilogy a little while ago and I didn't really enjoy it, and both of these books that I'm unhauling I have tried to read, never was able to get into it, especially this one. I've tried to read it maybe 3 or 4 times and I just couldn't get past, I think it was like page 20. So I am going to unhaul it to my sister. Maybe she will be able to enjoy it some more. This was really popular a couple of years ago and that's when I actually got it, but I just don't think that it's something I'm interested in. Next, I have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I have read this book. I read it, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. Really, really enjoyed it. I just don't think that I'm ever going to reread it. It is pretty big It has pretty small font. If I ever do want to read it in the future, if I have to read it for a class, I probably will repurchase it. But as of right now, I just think that it's just taking up space on my shelf, and it's just not serving me any purpose right now, so somebody else will like it better. And the last and final book that I have is Tash Heart's Tolstoy by Catherine Ormsby. I also read this book in July of 2017 when I read like 12 books. That is not happening right now, by the way. By the way, you guys probably won't see a March wrap-up coming up because I've only read one book and it's not good at all. Anyways, Tash Heart's Tolstoy, I really did enjoy it actually. I talked about this more in my wrap-up. I'll link every video I've talked about these books that I've read in the description down below. But I just, I can't even remember what happened in this book, and I just feel like there was a lot of trigger warnings in there for me. I just didn't really enjoy it. I'm pretty sure somebody else will be able to enjoy all of its quirkiness. So guys, that was my first ever unhaul, and also a quick note about the giveaway that I announced in my previous video. I actually did get the dates wrong. I am going to be picking winners on April 11th, not April 4th, because April 4th would only be 2 weeks, and I don't think that's enough time for you guys. I just want to give you guys as much time as possible to enter. If you guys did not see my previous video, or if you just need a little refresher, I'm giving away a copy of Cookie Kingdom, and I'm also giving away one book of your choice from Amazon under $15. You have to enter by being subscribed and leaving a comment on the video where I announced the giveaway. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and all that other great stuff. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!